the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
Good night's sleep. Get rid of that loss. Well, it wasn't a good night's sleep. I only slept for 3 hours. I was up since 6 and I went to sleep at 3. So, Therapy Sunday. It's a rare Therapy Sunday. Man, we must be really need therapy. We already got a copay. Lord. The first copay, TD. That game was 90% on Boyer and McDaniel. They made dumb plays, calls, in key situations on both sides of the ball. So frustrating. Prevent on 3rd and Clown was 17 on defense. Shaking my head. Need new D coordinator. I'm going to break that down. That's a loaded one, man. I'm definitely going to break that down. Before we get into this, man, this video, Therapy Sunday, is brought to you by BetUS, ladies and gentlemen. BetUS, all right? I'm about to place the link in the description of the video for BetUS. You can take advantage. One thing I want to let y'all know, I want y'all to take advantage of this is right now, if you sign up to BetUS, you are going to be able to get a free $50 no deposit bonus. It does not require you to deposit money. No requirement to put money in, but you get free $50 to start betting if you sign up now. The link is pinned at the top of the description of the video. All right. They are also giving you 125% bonus up to $2,500 if you sign up as well. So take advantage of that now. I have pinned the link at the top of the chat. NFL picks and predictions, BetUS, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I also wanted to go over some of the BetUS picks. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share screen while we let everybody get in here. We're going to go over some of the spreads for today because there's some, I believe, some opportunity to make some money out here in today's games. So if hopefully you can see this very well. All right, so one game that I wanted to bring up in particular is the New York Jets and Detroit Lions game. This is an interesting game, okay? The Detroit Lions have been one of the hottest teams in the NFL as of late, and they're +1. And the Jets, Mike White is cooking and all, but I don't know if the Jets will be able to do what they need to do to beat the Detroit Lions. And on top of that, the Miami Dolphins, we need the Jets to lose anyway, because I do not want it to come down to the last game of the season. We know how those have gone for the last 2 years. I'm sorry, but I would have to take the Detroit Lions +1 in this game. And I also heard that Mike White is out and they have Zach Wilson. Man, y'all better hop on this. Detroit Lions +1. This is why I'm telling y'all, click on the link in the description, and you don't even have to make a deposit off rip. They are giving you $50 of free play money. Free play money. And it ain't just play money, it converts to real money if you win your bets on that free play. So this is the game I wanted to highlight because I think Detroit is going to beat the Jets, and the Jets season will start to crumble right in front of our very own eyes. So Zach Wilson is starting. This is the game right here I would actually invest in, picking the Detroit Lions +1. That is a steal to me. I don't get it. It's a steal to me. But we shall see today, ladies and gentlemen. Outside of that, you also have the Patriots game that I wanted to go to. The Patriots game. Patriots are +1 favorites. This is another one. Patriots are not a great football team this year. I mean, they're well coached. But Las Vegas hasn't been good this year either. But the Las Vegas Raiders have weapons that could beat them. And I think the Raiders are going to get this win today. So similar situation. I would hop on the Raiders on this to upset the Patriots and knock them out of the playoffs. And last game I want to go over is the Tennessee Titans, Los Angeles Chargers. Although Tennessee has lost back-to-back games, they're starting to lose games. They're in the driver's seat in their division. They could literally lose out of these last 4. They could probably lose 3 and still make the playoffs. So even though they want to get back on track, the Chargers are fighting for dear life to get in the playoffs, and they're -3. I'm sorry, I'm taking the Chargers I'm taking the Chargers -3. Even if they lose, it'll be by 1 or 2 points. I would take the Chargers in this game. So, and then on top of it, doing a parlay on that, let me see what that looks like. Let me take the Chargers. Yeah, one moment. Give me a second. Okay, it froze on me for a second. Y'all give me a moment. All right. All right, so I got the Chargers, I got the Lions, and I'm going to go to the Patriots game. And I'm going to pick the Raiders on a 3-team parlay. Let me see if you parlayed it. $50. It'll win you $312.04 if those things happen. It would win you $312.04 on that $50 bet. You might want to take your free money and invest it in one of these bets, ladies and gentlemen. Again, download BetUS right now. The link is in the description of the video. $50 free play just for signing up without even putting money in. You can't miss on that. Take advantage of it, ladies and gentlemen. Take advantage of that opportunity. Y'all give me one moment. I'll push my screen up a little bit. All right, we good now. Uh, but here we are. We find ourselves on we find ourselves here on Sunday losing 3 in a row, Miami Dolphins. It's tough. It's frustrating. I understand. I promise you I understand. Um the good thing is we've done enough early in the season to not let this affect us. This isn't the end of our playoffs. We are still in the driver's seat of our own destiny. That's the beautiful part of all of this. I know it can be stressful. You want to be dominant, but this team just isn't that kind of dominant team. I believe all season we've had one dominant victory all year. And that dominant victory was against the Cleveland Browns, if I'm not mistaken. I feel everyone's frustration. After the game, we find ourselves going to figure out who should we blame. Is it McDaniel? Is it Josh Boyer? Is it Tua? Is it Tyreek? Is it Sherfield? We find ourselves trying to figure out who we should blame. And I want to talk to us about that for a moment. And this is real and raw, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to blame any one particular person, the blame has to fall on Mike McDaniel. That's just the reality. There are sub levels of blame in this game, but at the top of it all, the head coach is responsible. The head coach was responsible for the San Francisco game. The head coach was responsible for the Chargers game. The head coach is responsible for this Buffalo game. The head coach has to take full responsibility. Because at the end of the day, however your players execute is a reflection of the discipline that you instill in them. Undisciplined dropping passes. Why do we lead the league in drop passes right now? 3rd year in a row, by the way. Penalties, Robert Hunt, lack of discipline. That's on coaching. Ball placement by the quarterback, very poor all season. The coach was brought in to fix that. Play calling on when you should run and when you shouldn't. That's on the coach. All of it's on Mike McDaniel. And we are going to talk about the subcategories of specific blame as well. But if you got to lay it at anyone's feet, Mike McDaniel has to take full responsibility because it's his team. It's his team. One main reason why I'm not putting it on the defense is because the defense is what it is. We have 3rd string guys in our secondary, and we're expecting them to play at a high level, and it's just unrealistic. That's unfair as fans. Our defense is why we lost. Okay, then pack the season up. This defense is going to be this way for the rest of the year. But we still, with the same defense, found ways to win games weeks ago. Because our offense carried us in many ways. And we have to be, and I know the level of competition was poor, but that's what it's all about. The offense has to be able to show up when the competition is poor or it's great. They have to. And another reason why I don't blame the defense, because an interesting stat just came out. And this says it all for me. It says it all for me why I don't blame the defense. The Miami Dolphins are 29th in the NFL in time of possession. 29th in the NFL for time of possession. That's all you need to know. What does that mean? We don't possess the ball long enough, and our defense is always on the field. Our defense lives on the field, and it ain't because we're just scoring in 1 minute on every drive. No, we're putting the ball in a lot of cases. We're still in a situation where we're putting the ball, and our defense is right back on the field. We got a copay from Lucky_Luciano's 23 said in 11 games this year, Tua has 3,250 yards, 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a 108 rating based off of his per game average over a 17-game season. We would have 37 TDs and 7 interceptions. Okay. And what's your point? And this is what we always deal with, y'all. People throwing out the stats to try to make it fit their narrative. Tua is having a solid season overall, not great anymore. Solid. It went from MVP candidate to great to good to now solid. It's all coming down to earth, just like Geno Smith. See, when you look at that stat line, that's that Baker Mayfield fooled you stat line when they thought they had their guy. That's all it is. Matter of fact, let me pull this up to give you some context around it. Give you a little context around it. You see this chart right here? This is all the quarterbacks that played yesterday. All the quarterbacks that played yesterday. See, everybody's saying Tua had a good game yesterday. But they want to ignore the context of the game. And in a big game like that, where implications are on the line and you have to rise to the occasion, you have to have a really good game to show that you're the guy, not what you did yesterday. All the quarterbacks. Tua threw 1 elite pass. Josh Allen threw 1 elite pass. Great passes. Tua threw 1. Josh Allen threw 7. Solid passes. Tua threw 6. Josh Allen threw 7. Pedestrian average passes. Tua threw 8. Josh Allen threw 12. Bad passes. Tua threw 11. Josh Allen threw 9. Interceptable passes. Tua had 3. Josh Allen had 1. See, we ignore stuff like this. And stuff like this is so important to put context behind the game. Look at that great category, because elite doesn't matter. All quarterbacks, it's rare to have those elite passes. It's really hard. And Tua and Josh Allen only had 1. But when you need to be great, Josh Allen was great with 7 great passes and Tua 1. Tua, out of all quarterbacks, led the way in bad passes, 11. And interceptable balls, 3. And no, don't come in the comment section saying all we do is talk about Tua. All people do is donate and want to talk about Tua. All they do is donate and want to talk about Tua. So if they donate, I'm going to respect them by replying. Let's go down to the bottom of the chart. Accuracy. He was the least accurate quarterback that played yesterday. And accuracy isn't completion percentage. It's just generally watching the game, looking at every pass, looking at the ball placement, because PFF releases these numbers, ladies and gentlemen. 53% of his passes were accurate, pretty much half. Pretty much half. Through the least amount of accurate passes. And this is the area that I'm really passionate about, because this offense will never be unlocked until we get good ball placement by the quarterback. Ball placement has been this offense's Achilles heel, and y'all don't realize it. Just because it's a completion does not mean we maxed out what we could have got. Ball placement has been our Achilles heel. So, yeah, the accuracy, 53.3. And I'm not even going to get into the tight ends. I know I see some of y'all in the comment section. I'm not even going to talk about the tight ends. One moment, y'all. Oh, there it is. My bad, y'all. All right, we good. One moment, my thing was messing up. All right, there we go. My bad. I'm not even going to talk about our lack of using the tight ends. That's just simply, that's a loaded conversation. Let me get to this next copay. I still disagree with you about Tua TD, but the last guy's super chat was completely irrelevant to what you were talking about. LOL. Exactly. And they wonder why all we do is talk about Tua. I hadn't even mentioned Tua in the super chat about Tua comes. And of course, you pay money, I'm gonna respond to it. I ain't gonna be rude. Your hard-earned money coming to the channel, I'm gonna respond. So stop coming at me for talking about Tua when the reality is people want to talk about Tua because people are fed up. People want to prove he the guy, so they want to talk about him. And people want to prove he ain't the guy, so they want to talk about him. The reality is that's the main topic of conversation in Miami, period. Tua. It ain't listen, this is what I try to help y'all understand. Defense was trash. Mike McDaniel was trash. We dropped balls. But if Tua would have executed at a great level, we still could have won. And I'm not going to dismiss this either. Tua, bad placement, didn't play a great game. To me, Tua was slightly above average. Because I told y'all last night, Tua wasn't bad. Tua wasn't trash. He wasn't even average. He was above average last night. One of those typical games. Hey, I got two wide open guys for the touchdown. They were dimes. I loved them. He played an above average game, a little over. But at the end of the day, this game, a game like that ain't about being above average. A game like that, you want your number 5 overall pick to rise to the occasion and have a great game. When are we going to get a great game in a big moment? Not this Tua played good. Tua played well. Tua played good enough to win. Tua did his part. No, you know the difference. Nobody's saying Josh Allen played good. They're like, Josh Allen played great. He showed why he's the guy. Nobody's saying Josh Allen played well enough to win. They not, but they see, this is what I'm talking about. That's not the narrative. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the goal is not to hope Tua doesn't have a Tennessee game. That's not the baseline. Should have took Watson, but all Tua does is win. Yeah, you throwing shots. Switch it up. What can we do about these corners? What can we do about our corners? Nothing. Truth be told, our corners are exceeding expectation. Our corners are exceeding expectation. Oh, give me a second, man. This thing feel like it's freezing up on me. All right. Okay. It looks like it might be fine now. All right. If y'all can hear me and see me just fine, put a yes in the comment section. I just want to verify. Okay. All right, man. Thank y'all. What's why I keep like edging out on my end. But yeah, switch it up then. What can we do about these corners? Nothing. What do you want to do about the corners? They're already exceeding expectations, bro. They already making plays, and these are undrafted people. I mean, these are players that, come on. There ain't nothing you can do about these corners. I mean, but you can help them. How can you help them? Stop leaving them on the field so much. We 29th in the NFL for time of possession. Offense. Stop stalling so much. Do y'all realize we probably be dead last in the NFL for time of possession if we don't go for it on fourth down as much? Let that sink in. We be dead last in the NFL, I'm sure, if we didn't go for it on fourth down as much as we do. And y'all know we go for it on fourth down. Now, let me debunk this thing, and then I'm gonna get to some of the co-pays. Let me debunk this. Yes, keep running the ball if that's gonna help you win, right? But this is what I need people to understand. Even though we should have kept running the ball, we have to be honest with ourselves. Why did you want to keep running the ball? I'm going somewhere with this. I want y'all to be honest with yourselves. Why should we have kept running the ball? It's a common sense answer, right? Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It was working. It was working. I get that. But when I go watch the film and I look up the pass plays that we had, those were good calls too. They just weren't executed. See, that's the thing that nobody wants to talk about. Some of these calls we get mad about, you should have ran. Well, even though we would have preferred to run, the pass play dialed up. I see all kind of opportunity. The player's just not executing it. Because if we executed on all those plays that we wanted to run and we threw it, we wouldn't be saying nothing. We'd be like, McGenius, man, he called a great game. See, a great game always comes to whether or not we executed or not. Because if we were running the ball and we weren't getting any yards, we would be like, man, throw the ball. The run ain't working. Come on, man. That's why McDaniel said last week, I felt like we called a good game. The execution was poor. And it's true. The execution is poor. In fact, I'll do you one better. I like looking at examples sometimes. Sometimes examples are fun. Hold on. All right. Give me a second. You know, they mad at me on Twitter, boy. All right. This play right here has been the topic of discussion on Twitter. This play right here has been the topic of discussion on Twitter. No pass interference call. No pass interference call. Is it pass interference? By rule, yes. Can we control whether the pass interference is called or not? No. This is what kills me. This is Dolphin fans for you. Should have been pass interference. Look at it. Look at the separation. Ladies and gentlemen, where does the ball need to be? Ladies and gentlemen, where does the ball need to be? We know it's a clear pass interference, but it wasn't called, so there's nothing you can do about it. But guess what? The way we play our game, we have to rely on pass interferences on terrible throws. Where should the ball be? Look at that separation. Look at this. Where should the ball be? Near the freaking sideline. Tyreek has literally stopped on his route. Look at this mess. Look at this mess. This should have been a first down. Can y'all hear me? Yes or no? When I'm not on the screen, can you hear me? Yes or no? Yes or no? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes or no? All right, good. This is what kills me with our fan base. Thou shalt not hold Tua Tagovailoa accountable. Look at this mess. Ball should already been on the way out towards the sideline. This is a third down. You see the 6? You see that little orange thing on the ground over here at the bottom left? That's the first down mark. That should have been a first down. And we out here relying on a pass interference and getting in our feelings. Oh, they didn't call it. This is December and January football. They're not going to reward trash play. Not like that. Not on no little 5-yarder. You better throw it 50 yards down the field. You want one of those. They are not going to reward no little 7-yard out in a terrible throw. And this is our fan base. Oh, that was obvious PI. No, we shouldn't have relied on PI. The ball should have been at the sideline. First down, let's keep it moving. Screw the refs. We out here leaving it up to the refs. You can tell we ain't used to the playoffs. You don't get that with the refs in no playoff atmosphere game. But y'all ignore how horrible he was in ball placement in this game. I already watched the film last night for a second time, by the way. We had, if I'm not mistaken, 6 out routes just like this, y'all. Just like this. We threw 6 out routes. 6 of them. 6 of them. 5 of them had terrible ball placement. And 3 of them were almost intercepted. And this wasn't one of the ones almost intercepted. But if he would have got his head around, it would have almost been intercepted. Somebody said, bro, you just on Tua. You're not looking at the facts. Is what I'm saying right now not a fact? Is this a bad throw? Yes or no, ladies and gentlemen? Is this a terrible throw? Yes or no? Look how our receivers got to slow down, back into the man. Yes or no in the comment section. Is this a terrible throw? Yes or no? Good release by Tyreek. So don't tell me I'm not speaking the facts. I may not be speaking your facts, but this is a fact. This is a fact. And trust me, I could pull up 10 of these in the game. I could pull up 10 of them in the game where it's just terrible ball placement. Is it pass interference? No, because they ain't called it. You see how that worked? You see how that worked? And somebody had the nerve to say that's a drop pass. Tyreek still got to catch it. I'm done. I can't with these people. Tyreek, great release. Got the move on him right there. Didn't get jammed at the line. Trying to put his hands on him. Can't even reach him. Look at that. That tells you all you need to know. Trying to put his hands on him and couldn't even reach him. That's how good a step right here. Right here. Couldn't even reach him. Tried to grab his jersey and couldn't get it. Great route by Tyreek. All he needed was the ball to be on his way. Sideline, out of bounds, first down. We keep the sticks moving. 3rd and 1. Or whatever it was. I know it was a 3rd down and we punted. This play sums up the team. That play freaking sums up the team, man. That's what we deal with all the time. I'm going to get to the co-pays in a second. But I got one more for you. I already know they're going to get real mad at me. Hold on. That ain't the one I wanted. All right. Here you go. For all y'all who just don't understand, who love making excuses, now I showed you what it looks like when you do it bad. Now I'm going to show you what it looked like when you do it the right way. Even in great coverage. Even in great coverage. You see that? You see that out in front, even in great coverage? You see what happens? You see what happens? And that was tighter coverage than the Tyreek one. That was way better coverage than the Tyreek one. Look at him, man. That was a throw. And Herbert said, you know I got you, homie. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. All these excuses, I'm here to debunk them. Because you know why I debunk them over here on this channel? Because I want to win a Super Bowl. I want my organization to win a Super Bowl. I learned from the last 20 years. I learned what settling for mediocrity does. I learned my lesson from that. I learned my lesson from Ryan Tannehill. I learned my lesson from Chris Greer already, Tannenbaum, and everybody else. I learned my lesson from Adam Gase. Man, I could name 50 million of them. I learned my lesson. I'm not allowing mediocrity and be like, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, guys, you want him to be perfect. No, I want him to rise to the occasion and be the best version of himself he can be. I don't want him missing. Did Josh Allen miss some passes last night? Absolutely. But what I try to explain to y'all, there are levels to this. He's not going to miss as many. That's what it's about. Everybody misses passes. Everybody has bad ball placement. But not when half of your passes are terrible placement. There are levels to this. There's a difference. All right, man. Let me get to some of these co-pays. Do you think Tua is a top 12 quarterback? Also, you going to do any games today? Yeah, I'm doing games today. And no, he's not a top 12 quarterback. Tua's not a top 12 quarterback. Tua's the type of guy for a brief moment he can thrive in a scheme, but when it all hit the road, he is who he is. At his best, he's always going to be a middle-of-the-road quarterback. His highest peak, he'll probably have a season where he's the 12th best, and that's with everything around him. If you don't know, he's just falling and falling and falling. He's falling and falling and falling. See, them great games are now matched with bad ones now. See, that as many great games as he's had just as many bad ones. New England Patriots' first game did not play well. Actually, one of his worst rated games on PFF. He was rated phenomenal in Baltimore, fourth quarter. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to give him the good. Okay? The first Buffalo game, I give him good. He didn't have to do much. It wasn't a great game, but at the same token, he didn't have to do much. It was good. Cincinnati, bad. Then he missed games. Came back, Pittsburgh, bad. Houston game, average. I'll sit it right in the middle. I ain't even going to put it up here with the good and bad. It's average right in the middle. Them 3 games between Pittsburgh and Houston, good, or great, elite, whatever you want to call it. Since then, San Francisco, trash. Chargers, trash. Last night, he was not good. Matter of fact, I'll take it off. Average. I'll put it in the middle, average. Because he wasn't terrible last night. But his ball placement has always been the issue for this team. So he has just as many good games as he has bad games, and that's the problem with Tua. He'll always be good enough not to be good enough. And in the NFL, for a franchise quarterback, you got to flip that. You got to make it 7-3, not 5-5. See, and that's what people need to realize. They still on the high of Baltimore and the 3 games that he went off on. They still on that high, even though these games just knocked them down, they still holding on to that high. He was playing MVP level. The last 3 games has knocked him way down. You got to look at the whole picture. You can't just hold on to them 3-4 games that you've been holding on to all season. His play overall in the season has come right to the middle. And I'm not even going to put him in the middle. I'm going to put him a little above the middle. Tua has been above average this year. Holistically. He's been above average. Once running high, and it's just been dropping. Now he's been above average. And I think he'll end the season. If he knock out these 3 games like he should, he'll go up to, he had a good season. He had a good season. That's what he'll go to. But people aren't really weighing the whole season in its entirety. 2 weeks ago after the San Francisco game, bro, Tua's had a great year. Why are you tripping? Okay. After the Chargers game, bro, Tua's had a great year. Why are you tripping? After last night, bro, Tua's had a great year. They've locked that great year in, even though that great has fallen. They're going to keep on repeating it so they believe it. It has not been a great year. It has been 4 great games. It has not been a great year. And that's a fact. So that's what's going on right now. Do you think Tua is... Oh, I already read that. My bad. Trey said Mike McDaniel should have stuck to the run in the second half. 8 carries, 101 yards first half. 9 carries, 35 yards the last 3 quarters. This was play calling once again. To a degree, I agree. You should have stuck with the run play calling, but opportunities were there in the passing game that he dialed up. And on top of it, when you got down by 2 possessions, sometimes you want to throw more to make it quick. Situational football. But I agree. Mike McDaniel is to blame. I feel like he should have stuck with the run. Every time we had 2nd and 5, that fool threw the ball, and it made me mad. Why are you putting the ball in the hands of Tua? Every time we had a 2nd and 5, I mean, it got to a point where we weren't getting the big chunks anymore, but we would still get 4 and 5. Why are you putting the ball in Tua's hand on 2nd down? Run it again until they can stop you from getting 5 yards. But this, I'm going to have this conversation later because I got to call some of y'all out because this is McGenius. When everything was going well, this is McGenius. We weren't running the ball when things were going well. We were throwing, and he was McGenius. But now he want to win the same way, and all of a sudden, Mike McDaniel got to do this and do that. I'm just saying. How we be flipping. Because it was working last night. I agree. You got to keep doing what's working. My bad. I'm tracking down the co-pays. Alexander Winkins said, TD, stop comparing us to the Chiefs. Man, I didn't know I did that. All the good Dolphin teams in their history had good defenses. Okay. We had darn well the defense is holding us back. Stop blaming Tua. Once again, now you're making me compare the Chiefs. The Chiefs got one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Are they holding the Chiefs back? Are they holding the Chiefs back? What the Chiefs got on the offense that we ain't got? What do the Chiefs got on offense that we ain't got? You don't want to answer that, do you? And don't say Travis Kelce because they ain't got no Tyreek Hill. And they ain't got no second in Jalen Waddle. What do the Chiefs have that we ain't got? I'll let you figure that out. So I'm sorry. I wasn't going to compare the Chiefs, but you made me compare them now with your end of the statement. The defense holding us back. We banged up in the defense. What do you want us to do? It is what it is, but we invested all of this in the offense. They have to be able to carry us. The Chiefs over there carrying the offense, carrying them. That defense is horrible. Jose said, man, this game was not on Tua. I said it's on McDaniel, but Tua had his flaws too. The reason we should have kept running the ball is because it was working. Every throw was not on the money, but, bro, it was not on Tua. I agree, Jose. Mike McDaniel, this game is on. I started the show saying that. But I'm not going to walk past Tua's flaws that could have helped us win the game. I can't walk past that. Even if we didn't run the ball, if he had good ball placement, at least 70% instead of 50%, we won the game. I just showed you a 3rd down that we punted, and they went right down the field and scored at the end. That was all on Tua. I remember last night during the game, me and Ian was texting. He dropped that down to Tyreek, and Ian sent me the big eyes emoji like, yeah. I said he 12 for 24 in completions. His ball placement been horrible. I love the 2 touchdowns, but his ball placement has been horrible. 50% completion ain't going to get it done. And right then and there, I said, this drive or the next drive is where he's going to have an opportunity to show that he the guy. Screw all everything that happened in the game. Now the game is on the line, 29-29. Show us. Show us you that dude. Show us you that dude. And what did he go out there and do? What did he go out there and do? Stinker. Freaking stinker. We scored 3 points in the 4th quarter, and that was because the defense got the sack fumble in great field position that led to it. I don't care what you did in the rest of that game. 29-29, you got the ball in your hand. 29-29, you got the ball in your hand. That's your moment. That is your moment. You out there throwing bubble screens and you watching it blown up. Defender right there, almost picked. You throwing an out route to play before that, and you see the defender got his hands on it, almost picked it off. Like, are you reading anything, or are you just, that's my target to go to, I'm just going to throw it? This is what it's about. 29-29, you got the ball in your hands. What are you going to do? I know what Mahomes going to do. I know what Josh Allen going to do. I know what all the franchise quarterbacks going to do. Are they going to be 100% doing it? You know, they ain't going to always do it, but they're going to do it at a high level often. 29-29, you got the ball in your hand. What did he do? What did he do? TBF, I don't know what that means. To be for real or to be. See, I ain't up on some of the stuff, so forgive me. TD, that is every fan base. LOL. To be fair, I got it now. TD, that is every fan base. LOL. I never blame the refs. I'll get mad at the moment, but bad calls, no calls are never why you lose a game. I agree. Dolphin fans want to hold on to it. They want to hold on to it. This man had 3 interceptable balls last night. The throw was not on time. It was late by Tua. Exactly. Thank you for being honest, homie. TD, Bills fans usually give Allen a break because of what he does in the big games that matter. That's how it works. That's how it works. You're not going to have an on week every week, but in the big moments, you got to show up. And you ain't going to show up in every big moment. But God dog it, tell me a big moment Tua showed up yet. This man is 0% in big moments. Tell me a bit. See, that's the point. I ain't asked him to be perfect. All great quarterbacks are not going to show up in every big moment. They're not. But they do show up in most of them. Name the one big moment we've seen him show up. That's what I challenge you to do. And this is what you want to ignore. I just need that one big moment you can name that he actually showed up. Was the Lions a big moment? No. Nothing that happened early in the season is a big moment. Big moments happen in December and January or in the playoffs. Implications, where you know what your playoff picture looks like and you need to win. You know your situation. You mentioned that the first Bills game was not good. When he won that game, you were raving about how he played. That's not true. You just sat here and watched me give him that game and said he didn't have to do much, but I actually liked him in that game. I didn't say the first Bill game wasn't good. I said he didn't have to do much. Threw for 180-some yards, a touchdown. Didn't have to do much. I did not say the first Bill game was not a good, great. Well, it wasn't a great game is what I was saying. And yes, I was raving because we beat the Bills. Regardless of their secondary being depleted, we beat them. And I did not knock him in that game. I have never said anything negative about Tua in that Bills game. I give him that game. Carlito said, be honest, would you be okay with letting Tua go if we didn't win 2 out of the last out of these last 3 because of Tua with this roster? Be honest, would you be okay with letting Tua go if we don't win 2 out of these last 3? If we go 1-3 in this last 3, I'm gonna be honest with you. y'all hear me and hear me good, because y'all gonna act like I never said this. I give y'all my honest takes on this show. If you're on Twitter, I ain't giving you nothing honest. I love trolling the snowflakes, okay? But here's my honest take. As long as we get in the playoffs, which is going to require him to win at least one more game. See, we can lose the Green Bay and still get in. Let's just get in the playoffs. And my expectation for Tua is to win 2 playoff games if we don't have a first round bye. I'm dropping those expectations now. Win 1 playoff game. I've dropped the expectations. Win 1 playoff game, and let's go into year 4 with Tua. The only reason I've ever wanted to move off of Tua is when a better option was available. That's it. Watson there, no brainer for me. And as you notice, he's slowly but surely starting to get his bearings back. If you are a better quarterback, and we all know you are, buy Tua. I want that guy. But if you don't have a better option, so if Lamar's on the table, he can win these 3 games. Give me Lamar. I don't care. But if we don't have a better option on the table, then I would rather see a Tua 4th year. Because now we got another season in the McDaniel offense where, first of all, the man don't process defense to save his life. I'm not debating that with people anymore. He doesn't post-snap read or process defense. But let's see if he'll start to in a second McDaniel season. I have never changed. I don't believe in his long term. That doesn't mean he can't have a future that's great. I just don't believe in it. Time is going to have to tell. So just make the playoffs. It can be ugly getting in, but just get in. I'm past all the good games, bad games after this last one. I don't care anymore. He can go out there and light it up like he did versus the Lions, Bears, and all of them for the next 3 weeks, and we in the playoffs. They're going to be like, oh, I told you, where the hater? I already know what time it is. I already know what time it is. The level of competition ain't the same as what we just went through, but then when we get in the playoffs, we're going to be back with the level of competition. I already know what time it is. I'm not one of these delusionals out here. So there is a part of me, if we can't get better, and I mean guaranteed better. I ain't talking about draft better. You can always draft somebody and let him compete in camp. And if he heads and shoulders, then he the guy. But if he not, Tua's the guy. I'm for Tua 4th year. As the very last year with this type of play. I don't want no spurts of good and spurts of bad. I want big games, big moments, big opportunities. Don't play above average. Don't play good. I need greatness. You were the number 5 overall pick. If you're not going to show up with your legs and be those type of guys, you don't have to be. But I need what they've been raving about at his best display. You see what he did versus the Lions? Do you see how flawless he looked doing it? You have to put that on film against a great team at some point. That's what you look for. That San Francisco defense is tough, but you see what Mahomes did to him? Didn't matter. Didn't matter. At some point, you got to be able to play at a great level against a great opponent. Not good, not above average, and not average. Y'all think it's a win just because he wasn't terrible. Those aren't wins. At some point, Tua got to break through the wall of being able to rise in a big moment. Like, hold the team down. That out route to Tyreek that I put on the screen just now, if you put that on the money and it's a first down, we moving the chains, the clock is ticking, we keeping it away from them. Tua, yes. Little stuff like that. Little stuff like that matters. It matters. Do you know how many third downs Josh Allen had on that last drive? I said it 3 times on that drive. Okay, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 1. Come on, make the stop. And he dropped it right where it needed to be. To keep the ball away from us. We were supposed to be keeping the ball away from them, getting points and making him go get the game winner. Instead, they did it on their own instead of us making them do it. Only complaint I have was the intentional grounding that wasn't called. Tua can't read defense. He's a spot thrower. I talked to y'all the other day about the whole spot thrower term. Good quarterbacks are actually spot throwers. It's a matter of he's not processing the spot. So if the spot's supposed to be here, if Tyreek gets jammed, that ain't the spot anymore. It's over here because he's behind a little bit now. But Tua still puts it in that spot. See, because it's not that he's a spot thrower, and I'm taking EM's advice. It's the wrong term, and I get what he's saying, because you want your quarterback to put it in the right spot throwing. But he doesn't process. In a perfect world, hike the ball like practice, it's going to end up in that spot. But this is the NFL. You got to process to make sure that this is the perfect world. Tua doesn't do that. So every time they bump a receiver, every time a receiver slip or the pressure coming and he got to go sooner, he still put it in that spot instead of recalculating. That's rhythm. That's touch, where you can recalculate on the spot right where it's supposed to be. And he don't have that. He doesn't have it on a consistent basis. Because I saw one throw last night that he had it. Remember the one? He escaped the pocket, rolled left, and hit Tyreek. Tyreek dove on the ground and got it. That's what I want to see on a consistent basis. I like that. That's what you're talking about. So I've seen sprinkles of it on occasions. But it's only when he's out of the pocket. In the pocket, clean pocket, he doesn't do that. And I don't know why. Let's keep it going. All right, G Money said, if they think the D bad now, bad, wait till Tua and Waddle get that money. My quarterback had his best year with average wide receivers and no O-line. I don't respect Tua's game. Yeah, I know, G-Money. G-Money, the thing is, you wanted Watson in Miami bad, and you knew him with this team would have been killer. And like I said, I think he would have still had his growing pains for not playing for quite some time. But long-term, he would have been killer. The rumors about Lamar coming to Miami will start after the next loss. Believe it or not, those rumors already started. I don't care about them. The Believe podcast, salute to you. He said a great QB will put the team on their backs and carry them to the finish line. Tua's legs give out under the pressure. You know what? Thanks for saying that. I need to expand on that. This is the point. Ladies and gentlemen, in a perfect world, the game would be a pie. Apple pie, sweet potato, pumpkin, whatever you like, whatever rocks your boat. In a perfect world, the game would be a pie. Quarterback 20%, receivers 20%, O-line 20%, defense 20%, coaching 20%, whatever. Special teams, however you want to slice it. In a perfect world, it would be a pie. But what people need to realize, this is the NFL. You're not going to have a perfect world. There are going to be games where the defensive slice never shows up. So you need the offense to grow their pie and make up for it. Like, put a team on your back. And y'all, this is what the issue is with the whole debate about Tua. Y'all don't want him to have to be put the team on his back because you know he can't. You don't want Tua to have to put the team on his back at any point because you know he can't. Regardless of the drop balls and the bad coaching last night, he had an opportunity to put him on his back with his placement, have one of those perfect days. You've done it before against great trash teams. Why is it you can't do it against great teams? It's still separation. The guy was still open. Tyreek was still open. What's the difference? That's the problem with the debate on Tua. You don't want him to have require him on occasions. You shouldn't. No quarterback should have to put the team on their back every game. But in the big moments when something fails, you got to be able to lift your team. Get them out of the dirt. Josh Allen did that last night. They punted the ball 4 times in a row. This man had a sack fumble and lost it, and we put points on the board as a result. What did he do? He ended up tearing it up, ripping off a run that made up for it, start throwing dimes, got hot late, and played absolutely phenomenal in the last drive with the snow coming down at an all-time crazy level. He said, all of this trash that we put together as a team, I got it. I'll carry it. I'll carry it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to catch up with the copays. Alexander Winkin said, we're going 0-3 the rest of the way. No defense. I disagree. That's impossible. It's impossible. The offense is too high-powered. I can respect that take, TD, and it's realistic if we win out because we'll probably play the AFC South Division winner at that point. I agree. People like, if you putting last night's game on Tua, then you're just a hater. Nah. See, the problem is you don't want to evaluate how he played in its entirety at all. You just want to say, there ain't a reason we lost. We don't need to talk about nobody else. The defense is the reason we lost. We don't need to talk about nobody else. Nah, you will never avoid these conversations on this channel because Tua ain't the only one that's going to get cooked today. Because I'm about to take a break once I'm done with these copays. Somebody else got to get cooked. It's a 2-person cook, but it's directed to one person, but 2 people responsible. They about to get cooked. If Niners shop lands, would you take him? I got to go back and watch the film and do an evaluation of him. I never studied Trey Lance. I don't know much about him. I don't know his skill set other than what others tell me, and I don't go off of what others tell me. I listen to it, but then I go get an evaluation for myself. So if he's a valuable opportunity, I'm not going to do any film on him. Not unless they trade, and I'm like, okay, now let me go tell y'all what we got. I don't know yet, but let me go see. All right, last one before I go off on this other person. TD, Josh Allen makes or break us. All 3 losses were due to Josh Allen doing too much, but he saves us at times. At the same time, I know, and this is why I tell people, you ain't going to always have a perfect game. Josh Allen had some bad games this year, but look at how many good games he had. Look at how many times he put the team on his back and carried him. See, when you can put the team on your back and carry him, you're allowed to have bad games because you're the reason we in the position to begin with. You know who done put the team on their back this year for Miami? Put it in the comment section. Y'all know it's true. Name the player that put the team on their back in Miami this year. You know the truth. But he can only do so much because he relying on another player. Tyreek Hill. He done put this team on his back this year. But you can only do but so much because you rely on another player. That should have been a first down from Tyreek, the video I just showed you. Move the sticks, keep their offense off the field. First down, Tyreek. That should have been a first down, but he can only do but so much. All right, it's time to do it. I'm going to go off on another player. Put it in the comment section. Let me see if y'all know who this player is. Put it in the comment section. I'm going off on another player. And you only go off on players that have an expectation to be great, but they ain't been great. Thank you, Color. Xavier freaking Howard. You know what? I take that back. I'm going to go off on him, but I ain't going to go off on him. I'm going to have one of them gloat moments. I told you so. I told you so. 3 years ago, when all them people unsubscribed to the channel because I was an idiot for wanting to trade X, even though I had perfect sound reasoning, why are we going to pay a guy big money for the next 3 years when we'll be rebuilding? And not only did we pay him big money, we doubled down 3 years later and paid him more big money. Gosh. I said, go look at history on cornerbacks. 1 out of every 500 is elite more than 5 seasons in their career. The man had already had his elite seasons. It's a wrap. Will he get another pick or two this year and have an occasional good game? Maybe, but it is a wrap. Xavier Howard this year is playing like he a $5 million a year corner. Facts. But we out here giving this man $17, $18, $19 million. And I told y'all we could go get a first-round pick for X. Do you know what we could have did with that first-round pick now? It wasn't no difference if X was on the field or not. Lucky for us, the bad passes that Josh Allen did throw were overthrown. Because Diggs would have had another 60. Davis would have had another 40. And Josh Allen would have had 5 touchdowns instead of 4. That's why I tell y'all, trade him and get a first-round pick. We could have had a linebacker for that first-round pick. We could have had a right tackle for that first-round pick. Or a new corner for the future. Trying to tell y'all. I don't want to hear nothing about he been laboring a growing injury. That's even more the reason. The man been hurt for 5 years now. The man been hurt for 5 years now. You can't make this stuff up. Somebody said, so Chubb gets a pass? Yeah. Yeah, Chubb get a pass. Should have never wasted a first-round pick and paid that kind of money in the first place. That ain't on Chubb. That's on Chris Greer. That's on Chris Greer. It is what it is. And you want to know why they really barely got to Josh Allen last night? This is another reason why Josh Allen carved him up last night. This is interesting. How many people do we run on the D-line rushing the quarterback most of the season, y'all? Let's see if y'all football heads know. How many players do we typically put on the defensive line and they come for the quarterback on a normal, our typical defense? How many? How many usually? How many usually? Our base. How many usually? Usually it's 5. The 3 interior and the 2 edges. It's usually 5. Okay? And they all come. Last night, we ran 4 for most of the game. We ran 4 for most of the game. This is where Chubb need to show up. Phillips need to show up. Christian Wilkins need to show up. Interesting. The first time we go to a traditional 4-man rush, the majority of the game, because we always do a 4-man rush, but majority of the game, we send 5. And the first time, majority of the game, we send 4, Once again, we have no organic pass rush, and the only time we got to that bum is when we sent the extra guy. And Christian Wilkins wasn't the beast that he's been all season. He was not beasting last night like he was all season. Now, the run game, we did very well until the end of the game. The end of the game, nowhere to be found. You know why? They were tired. They were on the field most of the game. Think about it. My bad. I'm going to the super chats. Co-pays. TD, Josh Allen makes or breaks us. All 3 losses. Already read that. The first would have been the third that year for Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Laser Kohu, our best DB, his injured hand really been a problem. Can't play the way he needs to. Well, I think he'll get a shot next year. Denver Smith, TD loves therapy days. Makes a killing in co-pays. That's true. I do. Might want your Dolphins to keep losing. This is cash cow for you. LOL. No, you know what? Victory Mondays tend to be better when it matters. But I ain't gonna lie, I have gotten a lot of co-pays when we lose. It actually has been, from a monetary standpoint, a good thing. But the truth is, people just donating. I just call them co-pays because it's therapy. It was a good ring to it. And those who are donating, I appreciate the love and support. I think that's it. All right, y'all. Here's what we're going to do real quick. I am about to end this stream. I am going to load another stream due to obligations with sponsors. And we're going to call the games, but we're also going to keep this conversation going because I don't really be caring about these games. But I have to do some of them from an obligation with sponsorship. So I'll be keeping you informed of what's going on in the games. Excuse me. Because the most important game for us is the Jets game. We hope they lose. Kansas City, who cares? And that's pretty much it in this morning session. Really, the Jets game is the only one with implications that we really care about. So the Jets game, hoping that they lose, is all that matters. So we'll keep our eyes on that, but we're going to keep this conversation going. So it'll be the New York Jets versus the Detroit Lions and Miami Dolphins therapy Sunday. I will see y'all in about 5 minutes, even though the game has already started, all right? See y'all in about 5 minutes. Peace.